Let me say it in English so that people can get it. Recently, I was accused of carrying a crude weapon and a rungu. I want to tell those ignorant people that this is not a rungu. This is a so short. It is a sign of leadership among Kalenjin women, and it's also used to wash a calabash, which carries our milk, which is a thing of great blessings. So please do not insult our culture. Number 2, I know that there are people who have been going around saying that because I'm deputy speaker, I cannot speak about the impeachment of the deputy president. Yes, I can. I am the deputy speaker. I am not the substantive speaker. I am also member of Uasin Gishu County. When I made those remarks, I made those remarks as member of parliament, not as deputy speaker. And I am not conflicted or biased in any way, because you can only accuse me of bias if I speak like that while seated on the speaker's chair. I was not sitting on the speaker's chair. And I have no conflict of interest. I am not biased. And stop peddling that notion. And those lawyers who even have the audacity to go to court to say that I am biased and I must recluse myself, even when you ask a judge to recluse themselves, if you don't give satisfactory grounds for their reclusion, they will not recluse themselves. So yes, I will not recluse myself. And I shall continue to speak as member of parliament of Uasin Gishu County, and I'm also the member of parliament of His Excellency the President.
Yes.
And if he has a problem, I have a right to speak up on his behalf. Yes. He voted for me, and I have no apologies to make. I also want to say that the issue of impeachment is envisaged in our constitution. A president can be impeached, a deputy president can be impeached, a minister can be impeached. It is provided for. It was envisaged in the constitution. It is not manufactured by members of parliament. So therefore, there is no need to apologize to members of parliament. A motion was brought and the members will look at it. I also want to say that the issue of separation of a principal from their assistant is also biblical.
Yes.
It is biblical.
Yes.
If all of you, Wamama wa Kanisa, you remember, in the book of Acts 15 verse 39 to 40, it says, it tells the story. It says that the contention became so sharp that they parted ways. And on that one, it was referring to Paul and Barnabas.
Yes.
Apostle Paul was anointed to proclaim the gospel. He appointed an assistant called Barnabas, and they did a lot of work together. But at some point, there was a lot of contention between the two of them. And that is why that verse 39 says the contention became so sharp that they parted ways. So yes, it is possible for a Christian to part ways with their assistant when the contention has become too sharp. It has happened in the Bible. And that is why after that, in the remaining 13 chapters of the book of Acts, you never had a mention of Barnabas again. That will be the deputy president very soon. We'll never hear about him again. I want to refer you to the biblical story in the Old Testament. Elijah was anointed as a prophet, and he appointed Elisha as his assistant. Elisha served faithfully and diligently and without complaining. And when eventually Elijah was taken to heaven on the chariots, Elisha took over his space. And because he had served diligently, he was anointed double portion to that of Elijah. So if you serve diligently as a principal assistant, you will receive double portion. William Ruto today served Uhuru Kenyatta with diligence and humility, and he was anointed double portion. The story of Elisha goes on. When Elisha took over from Elijah as prophet, he then was appointed Gehazi as his assistant. But Gehazi became greedy, and he was involved in corruption. He began to get gifts from Naaman, whom Elisha had refused. And what happened? He eventually was cursed, and he lived the rest of his life with leprosy. That is what happens to a principal assistant who ends up not serving their principal as is required by the Bible. And let me tell you, parting ways is biblical. Abraham parted with Lot. Abraham parted with Lot, and there was also Judas. Yes, Jesus parted with Judas Iscariot. So mekubali, can we part with Judas Iscariot? Tuachane na Judas wananchi? Nataka kuona wangapi wanasema tuachane na Judas. Nasema tuachane na Judas. Asanteni sana. So kitu naomba mtuombee. Mungu atupe nguvu, afya njema na ujasiri kesho tukianza hii kazi yenye tunafanya. Kwa sababu hii kazi sio sisi tumeanzisha. Imetulazimishwa kwa sababu ya sheria. Na hata msilaumu President William Ruto tafadhali. Because William Ruto is not in parliament. Hii ni kazi ya bunge na senate. Na sheria itachukua mkono wake. And that is what we have pledged to do. Na tunaomba Mungu pia, kama ana makosa itatokana. Kama ako na makosa, sheria itafuatuliwa. So tafadhali wananchi, mtuombee, pray for us. Kwa sababu tunataka Kenya irudi bila kelele, ndio tuweze kuwafanyia kazi kama nyinyi wananchi. Saa hizi tunapambana na maneno ya uchumi, maneno ya kuhakikisha watoto waende shule, maneno ya mahospitali. Hizo ndio kitu tunatakana kujiweka manane. So asanteni sana watu wa Kericho, nitaendelea kurudi hapa.